Observer Zara Vex stood motionless before the massive holographic display, her crystalline sensory filaments vibrating with concern. After 3 centuries of monitoring Earth's electromagnetic emissions, something unprecedented was occurring. The planet's technological signature wasn't merely dimming, it was being systematically extinguished. Display temporal analysis, sector by sector, she commanded, her voice echoing through the observation chamber of the Galactic Alliance's monitoring station. The hologram shifted, showing Earth's major population centers as points of light. One by one, they were going dark in a precise, orchestrated pattern. "Most peculiar," muttered Director Kane as he materialized beside her, his ethereal form flickering slightly in the hologram's glow. "Humanity has always been predictable in their chaos. This is different." Zara Vex manipulated the controls, zooming in on Beijing as its electromagnetic signature dropped to near zero. The city's infrastructure remained intact. No signs of destruction, no mass exodus, no panic. The population continued their daily routines while their technological footprint simply vanished. "The pattern repeats across all continents," she reported, bringing up comparative data streams. "Moscow, Sydney, Lagos, Rio de Janeiro. Each metropolitan center is systematically reducing its emissions to pre-industrial levels. But the technology isn't being destroyed. It's being transformed." Director Kane's form shifted, a sign of deep concern among his species. "The Council must be notified. This could indicate—" "Wait," Zara Vex interrupted, her sensory filaments detecting a subtle harmonic in the shutdown sequence. "There's something else. The pattern of the blackout. It's not random. It's encoding a message." She adjusted the temporal filters, converting the sequence of shutdowns into audio frequencies. A haunting melody emerged. The humans were turning their civilization's shutdown into a symphony, broadcasting one final message to the stars. "Cross-reference with Earth's cultural database," she commanded. The analysis took seconds. "Match found. Mozart's Requiem Mass in D minor," the system announced. "Specifically, the Dies Irae movement." "Day of Wrath," Kane translated, his form now practically transparent with anxiety. "They're warning us." Zara Vex initiated a deep scan of Earth's recent transmissions, searching for any clue about what had driven humanity to such drastic measures. The data streams showed a subtle but significant shift in human media over the past 5 years. Increasing references to cosmic horrors, stories about invisible watchers, and scientific papers theorizing about predatory civilizations that might lurk in the spaces between stars. "Director," she said, her voice barely a whisper, "I don't believe this is a collapse. It's an evolution, a deliberate adaptation. Humanity has seen something out there, something that hunts by tracking technological signatures. They're not regressing. They're camouflaging their entire civilization." A priority alert flashed across the display. The last major human population centers were going dark. But beneath the dying electromagnetic emissions, Zara Vex's instruments detected something else. New forms of energy, subtle vibrations, and complex mechanical systems that operated without leaving any detectable technological signature. "Notify the Council," Director Kane ordered, his form stabilizing with resolve. Tell them that humanity hasn't fallen. They've gone to ground. And we need to find out what they're hiding from before it finds us too." As Earth's last electronic transmissions faded to silence, Zara Vex couldn't shake the feeling that humanity's apparent technological regression might actually be the most advanced innovation she'd ever witnessed. The question wasn't whether they'd survive their self-imposed darkness. It was whether the rest of the galaxy would understand why they'd chosen it before it was too late. In the darkness of her observation chamber, as Earth's final electronic pulses faded to nothing, she initiated a new type of scanning protocol. If humanity had found a way to advance without leaving a technological signature, the galaxy needed to learn from them. Because something was coming, something that had frightened one of the most ambitious species in known space into choosing silence over progress. And in that silence, Zarevex heard the first notes of humanity's next movement in the cosmic symphony. Not a retreat, but a prelude to something entirely new. The research vessel Stellar Whisper descended through Earth's atmosphere, its quantum cloaking systems rendering it invisible to any watching eyes. Commander Rylith Nexus stood at the bridge, her iridescent scales shifting colors with anticipation as the sprawling metropolis of Shanghai emerged through the clouds below. "Preliminary scans complete, Commander," announced First Officer Trenval, his tentacles dancing across the holographic controls. "The city's infrastructure appears fully functional, but impossible. They're operating without any electromagnetic emissions." Rylith leaned forward, studying the cityscape. The streets teemed with activity, vehicles moved in perfect coordination, and massive buildings gleamed in the sunlight. But something was fundamentally different about how everything operated. "Take us lower," she ordered. "Focus on their transportation networks." As the ship descended to observation height, the crew witnessed an astounding transformation of human technology. The vehicles moved silently through the streets, powered by sophisticated mechanical systems that used compressed air and kinetic energy storage. Traffic flowed smoothly, guided by an intricate network of mechanical signals that communicated through pressure waves and vibrations. "Look there," Trenval pointed to a massive structure dominating the city center. "That appears to be their new communication hub." The building was a marvel of mechanical engineering. Huge arrays of adjustable mirrors and prisms caught and redirected sunlight in complex patterns, creating a city-wide optical communication network. At night, bioluminescent arrays took over, maintaining the flow of information without generating any detectable technological signatures. "They've replaced their entire digital infrastructure with analog and biological systems," whispered Dr. Naira Voss, the ship's xenotechnologist. Her sensor tendrils quivered with excitement as she analyzed the data. "Look at their computing centers. They're using crystalline matrices and quantum mechanical systems that operate without electricity. It's brilliant." The ship's sensors revealed more innovations: underground networks of pneumatic tubes carrying physical messages at near-light speeds, buildings designed to function as massive acoustic computers, and public spaces that doubled as human-powered energy storage systems. They haven't just adapted their technology, Rylith realized. They've transformed their entire society. In a park below, children played with mechanical toys that taught them the principles of their new technology. Schools had transformed into workshops where young humans learned to maintain and operate the sophisticated mechanical systems that kept their civilization running. The entire human race had reimagined what progress could look like. The alert chimed softly. "Commander," called out Security Chief Jax Meridian, "we're detecting unusual wave patterns in the upper atmosphere. The humans have created some kind of early warning system using natural atmospheric phenomena." Rylith nodded grimly. "They're watching for something. Something that hunts by tracking electromagnetic signatures." She turned to her crew. "Begin full spectrum analysis. If humanity has gone to these lengths to hide their technological footprint, we need to understand exactly what they're hiding from." As the Stellar Whisper continued its survey, they discovered more evidence of humanity's incredible adaptation. Medical facilities used advanced biotechnology and mechanical diagnostics equipment. Entertainment had evolved into elaborate mechanical theaters, where stories were told through intricate automata and biological displays. Even their scientific research continued, but through means that left no technological trace. "Commander," Dr. Voss called out, her voice tight with excitement, "I'm detecting something extraordinary beneath the city." The vibrations were recording. They're not random. The entire city is one massive mechanical computer, processing data through the resonance of its structures. Rylith felt a chill run down her spine. They've turned their cities into living calculators, hiding their computational power in plain sight. She paused, watching a group of humans adjusting a massive mechanical calculator that took up the side of a building. "The question is, what are they calculating?" The answer came from an unexpected source. As they passed over a school, Their sensors picked up a peculiar pattern in the children's games. The youngsters were moving in precise patterns, their footsteps creating complex vibrations that travel through the ground. It's a simulation, Trenval realized, his tentacles writhing with excitement. They're modeling stellar movements, tracking something in the spaces between stars. The children don't even realize they're part of a vast computational network. Rylith ordered the ship to ascend back into orbit. She had seen enough. Humanity hadn't regressed. They had evolved into something unprecedented. A civilization that could progress without leaving a trace, that could compute without electronics, that could thrive without broadcasting its presence to the cosmos. As the Earth receded below them, Rylith began composing her report to the Galactic Alliance. How could she explain that humanity's apparent technological suicide was actually a leap forward? That their silence wasn't surrender, but preparation? And most importantly, how could she convince the Alliance that whatever had frightened humanity into this transformation was a threat to all technological civilizations? Because one thing was clear, humanity hadn't chosen this path out of fear or weakness. They had chosen it because they had seen something in the dark between the stars that made invisibility worth any price. Deep within the Galactic Alliance's quantum archive station, Memoria Prime, Senior Archivist Talon Vix frantically processed the data streams coming from Earth. His crystalline form pulsed with increasingly agitated colors as patterns emerged from the analysis. Cross-reference complete, he announced to the Emergency Council session, his voice resonating through the quantum-linked chamber. In the 3 years before their technological shutdown, human astronomers documented unusual distortions in the cosmic background radiation between star systems. The Council chamber's holographic display filled with intricate wave patterns, subtle ripples in space-time that most species would have dismissed as natural phenomena. But humanity, with their characteristic paranoia and pattern recognition, had seen something more. First speaker Lyra Quantum leaned forward, her energy form brightening with interest. Explain the significance, Archivist. The humans discovered that these distortions weren't random. Talon continued, manipulating the display. They follow regular patterns, moving between stellar systems like migration routes. He paused, his crystalline structure dimming slightly. But it's what they found in their historical astronomical data that changed everything. The display shifted, showing a time-lapse of stellar systems over thousands of years. Dozens of points of light winked out, not in random patterns, but in systematic waves. Every civilization that reached a certain level of technological advancement, that began broadcasting their presence into space, they eventually went dark, not gradually, but suddenly and completely. That's impossible, third speaker Nexus Core interrupted. We would have noticed such a pattern. Would we? Talon challenged. Our civilization broadcasts on quantum frequencies, but younger species, like humanity, rely on electromagnetic emissions. The humans realized they were broadcasting their presence on frequencies that something was hunting. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Second speaker Helix Dawn's voice trembled slightly as she spoke. What exactly did they find? Talon projected a new image, a complex mathematical model reconstructed from human scientific databases before their shutdown. They called them the Harvesters, ancient entities that evolved to feed on technological civilizations, drawing energy from their electromagnetic emissions before, consuming them entirely. The model showed massive, almost incomprehensible beings that existed partially in normal space and partially in higher dimensions, drawn to the electromagnetic signatures of developing civilizations like moths to flame. Humanity had spotted their hunting patterns just in time. That's why they transformed their entire civilization, first speaker Lyra realized. They're not just hiding, they're adapting to survive predation. Correct, Talon confirmed. But there's more. During our surveillance of Earth, we detected traces of a massive information exchange in the months before their shutdown. The humans shared their discovery with every nation, every community. Instead of panicking or fighting among themselves as we might have expected, they unified with astonishing speed. He brought up new data streams, evidence of a coordinated global effort unlike anything in human history. They didn't just abandon their technology. They transcended it. Every human on Earth was brought into the plan, from their highest scientists to their youngest children. They turned their entire civilization into a vast detection network, watching for the harvesters while remaining invisible to them. "How long do we have?" Third speaker Nexus demanded. Talon's form pulsed with dark colors. Based on the human calculations, the harvesters are already entering the outer reaches of their solar system. But humanity isn't just hiding. He projected one final image, an intricate blueprint hidden in the vibrations of Earth's new mechanical systems. They're preparing to fight. The blueprint revealed that Earth's transformed cities weren't just about survival. They were weapons. Each mechanical computer, each vibration-based communication system, each child's game was part of a vast planetary defense network designed to operate without attracting the harvester's attention. "The humans have a plan," Talon continued, his voice filled with something close to awe. "They're not merely running from these ancient predators. They're setting a trap. Every city on Earth has become part of a massive analog computer, calculating the precise movements of the harvesters, predicting where they'll appear." First speaker Lyra's energy form flickered with concern. Can they succeed? Can a single planetary civilization hope to challenge entities that have hunted across the galaxy for eons? Talon's response was interrupted by a priority alert. The station's quantum sensors had detected something massive entering the solar system, moving through the space between planets like a shadow between stars. "We're about to find out," he said grimly. "The harvesters have arrived, and humanity's great silence is about to be broken by the sound of war." The Galactic Alliance observation post Sentinel Edge hummed with activity as Admiral Iris Quantum materialized in the command center. Through the quantum glass viewport, Earth hung like a jewel in space, deceptively quiet despite the approaching threat. "Status report," she commanded, her energy form crackling with anticipation. Strategic Director Van Helix manipulated the holographic display, revealing layers of data about Earth's transformation. "The human defense network is unlike anything we've ever encountered, Admiral. They've turned their entire planet into a weapon, but one that's invisible to conventional detection." The display zoomed in on New York City, showing the intricate mechanical systems that had replaced electronic technology. What had initially appeared to be a regression was revealed as an elaborate military innovation. "Each city is a node in their defense grid," Venn explained, highlighting the complex networks of mechanical computers and acoustic resonators. "They're using the natural harmonics of their structures to create a planetary-scale detection system. The vibrations we detected, they're not just communications, they're targeting calculations." Admiral Quantum studied the data with growing appreciation. "Show me their offensive capabilities." The hologram shifted, revealing the true purpose of Earth's transformed infrastructure. Those mechanical computers weren't just processing data, they were generating complex wave patterns that could interact with space-time itself. The children's games, the traffic patterns, even the wind through their cities, all were part of a vast analog computer calculating the precise frequencies needed to disrupt the harvester's higher dimensional forms. "Ingenious," she whispered. "They've weaponized their own silence." A new alert flashed across the display. The harvesters had crossed Jupiter's orbit, their massive forms distorting space as they moved. But rather than heading straight for Earth, they seemed confused, their usual hunting patterns disrupted by the absence of electromagnetic signatures. "Look at this," Strategic Director Venn highlighted a subtle pattern in Earth's mechanical activities. "Every movement on the planet's surface is coordinated. They're generating interference patterns that cancel out any residual technological signatures. The entire human race is participating in a planet-wide stealth system." The display showed crowds moving through cities in precise patterns, vehicles following carefully calculated routes, even the ocean currents being subtly manipulated by underwater mechanical structures. Everything was designed to create a perfect void in the electromagnetic spectrum. "Admiral," a junior officer interrupted, "we're detecting energy buildup in Earth's mechanical network. They're synchronizing their entire civilization." The holographic display revealed the true scale of humanity's preparation. Every city, every village, every mechanical device on Earth was being coordinated into a single vast machine. The vibrations from billions of mechanical computers merged into a coherent pattern, creating standing waves in the fabric of space-time itself. "It's a trap," Admiral Quantum realized. "They're not just hiding. They're creating a weapon that operates on the same principles as the harvesters themselves. They've turned their entire civilization into a dimensional resonance chamber." The harvesters, drawn by the last traces of Earth's technological signature, were approaching the precise position humanity had calculated. The planet's mechanical systems hummed in perfect harmony, each vibration contributing to a growing distortion in space-time. "They're not fighting on our terms or even the harvesters' terms," Venn observed. "They've created an entirely new form of warfare, one that doesn't rely on energy or matter, but on the fundamental properties of space itself." Admiral Quantum's form pulsed with a mixture of concern and admiration. "Notify the Alliance Council. Tell them." She paused, watching as Earth's mechanical symphony reached its crescendo. "Tell them that humanity hasn't just adapted to survive the harvesters. They've found a way to fight back." As the massive forms of the harvesters drew closer to Earth, the planet's surface began to shimmer with complex interference patterns. Every human movement, every mechanical calculation, every carefully designed structure contributed to a growing distortion in reality itself. "They're ready," Venn announced, his sensors detecting the final preparations across Earth's surface. Every city, every human, every machine is in perfect synchronization. They're about to turn their planet's silence into a weapon. Admiral Quantum watched as humanity prepared to demonstrate why they had chosen to fall silent, not out of fear, but as preparation for a battle that would reshape their understanding of technology, civilization, and warfare itself. The true test of their great experiment was about to begin. From the quantum observation deck of the Alliance flagship Eternal Light, First Speaker Lyra Quantum watched as the harvesters descended upon Earth. Their vast, shadowy forms twisted through higher dimensions, distorting space itself as they approached their prey. But this time, their prey was waiting. All Alliance vessels maintain distance, Admiral Iris Quantum commanded through the quantum network. "We're about to witness either humanity's finest hour or their last." The harvesters, massive beings of impossible geometry, spread across Earth's orbit like a web of living darkness. For millennia, they had hunted civilizations by following their electromagnetic signatures, consuming both their technology and their essence. But now, faced with Earth's mysterious silence, they hesitated. Suddenly, Earth's mechanical network sprang to life. Every city on the planet began resonating in perfect harmony, their vibrations following patterns calculated by millions of mechanical computers. The children's games, the traffic flows, the wind through carefully designed structures, all synchronized into a vast analog signal. "Remarkable," Strategic Director Venn breathed, his sensors analyzing the phenomenon. "They're generating interference patterns in space-time itself. The entire planet is becoming a dimensional resonance chamber." The harvesters reacted to the strange new signal, their forms writhing as they tried to understand this unprecedented defense. They were used to civilizations that fought back with energy weapons or tried to hide behind electromagnetic shields. But humanity had chosen a different path. Earth's cities pulsed with mechanical energy, each vibration precisely calculated to create destructive interference with the harvesters' higher dimensional forms. The very silence that had hidden humanity now became their weapon, as waves of anti-resonance rippled through space. "Look," Archivist Talon called out, his crystalline form flashing with excitement. The harvesters' shadowy bodies began to fragment where Earth's mechanical signals intersected with their forms. Humanity wasn't just fighting back. They were unraveling the very fabric of their ancient predators. But the harvesters weren't defeated easily. They shifted their attack, trying to pierce Earth's defensive resonance. Wherever they touched the planet's atmosphere, humanity's mechanical network adapted, shifting frequencies and patterns to maintain the destructive interference. They turned their entire civilization into an adaptive weapon, Admiral Quantum observed. Every human movement, every mechanical device, even their breathing is part of the defense. The battle reached its crescendo as the largest harvester, a being that had devoured countless civilizations, descended directly toward New York City. But instead of finding helpless prey, it encountered humanity's trap in its fullest form. The city's mechanical computers had calculated this exact moment. As the harvester approached, every structure, every vehicle, every person in New York moved in precise synchronization. The vibrations merged into a single, overwhelming signal that struck the ancient predator's dimensional form like a spear of pure mathematics. The effect was catastrophic. The harvester's impossible geometry began to collapse, its higher dimensional form unable to maintain cohesion against humanity's orchestrated assault. The other harvesters reeled, their shared consciousness experiencing the death of one of their own for the first time in eons. "They're retreating," Venn announced, tracking the remaining harvesters as they withdrew from Earth's orbit. Humanity's defense. It worked. They'd driven them back. But Earth wasn't finished. As the harvesters fled, the planet's mechanical network shifted its resonance, sending a new signal into space, a warning. The message, encoded in vibrations that rippled through space-time itself, was clear. Earth was no longer prey. First speaker Lyra stepped forward, her energy form bright with emotion. "Send word to the Alliance Council. Earth's silence wasn't an end. It was an evolution. They haven't just survived the harvesters. They've shown us all a new way to exist. A way to advance without making ourselves targets." As the last harvesters vanished into deep space, Earth's cities continued their mechanical symphony. But now the pattern had changed. The vibrations carried not just defense calculations, but a message of hope. Humanity had proved that civilization didn't need to broadcast its presence to progress. They had found a way to reach for the stars without attracting the hunters that lurked between them. "The galaxy will never be the same," Admiral Quantum declared. "Humanity hasn't just saved themselves. They've given us all a new path forward. The age of electromagnetic civilization is over. The age of silent advancement has begun." And so Earth maintained its great silence, not in fear, but in triumph. Their cities hummed with mechanical life, their technology evolved without electromagnetic emissions, and their civilization continued to advance. Invisible to the predators above, but shining with innovation to those who knew where to look. The day Earth fell silent became the day humanity taught the galaxy a new way to survive. In the years that followed, other civilizations would learn from Earth's example, transforming their own technologies to hide from the hunters between the stars. And in that silence, a new kind of galactic community emerged, one that thrived not through broadcasting its presence, but through learning to speak in the language of shadow and silence that humanity had pioneered. The harvesters never returned to Earth, but humanity remained vigilant, their mechanical networks ever watching, their cities ready to synchronize into weapons at a moment's notice. They had transformed their entire civilization not just to survive, but to ensure that no other species would fall prey to the ancient hunters of the void. In the end, Earth's greatest silence became the galaxy's loudest revolution.